35 days since you've last heard from the Bullpen Podcast. And I am back now, and I've only said it a million times, and I'm saying it again in this episode because in my mind, this is a big episode. But I will do absolutely nothing to promote this one because I want to promote all of the other ones after this. But, considering, again, 35 days since I've uploaded an episode of the Bullpen Podcast, I've got a little explaining to do. The majority of that is in the title, as you can see. I've reached a point of stand-up comedy that if you would have asked me at the beginning of the year if I thought I could do 50 shows in my first year of stand-up comedy, there's no way that I would have believed you. But yet, here we go. I mean, the reason for the lack of these episodes is exactly the title of this episode, because it took, I don't know how long it took, but stand-up comedy is very much just a constantly evolving, you never stop learning. You literally cannot stop learning new things about it, and it is a constant quest to be the absolute best. You never are a complete product, and that's just what it is. That's what it is. I don't know how long it took me to realize that. Maybe I knew it very early. Maybe I always knew that was a fact, but understanding that shit and feeling that is a different beast. And, the amount of time that it takes, 'cause I have to actually support myself. I have a job that I enjoy, but, that's 8 hours of the day, and comedy's always at night. And the only way to get better at comedy, truly, is to get on stage. Truly, the only way to get better at comedy is getting on stage. And work plus that equals 35 days of no episodes of the Bullpen Podcast. But I tell you what, that pattern is not going to stick around, because I've also, along with comedy, I've been in a constant battle to balance things in my life and, make sure that everything is covered how it needs to be, and I'm showing up in the ways that I need to show up in my life, outside of just my work that pays me. Comedy's paid me very little so far, but my work that pays me and supports me, and then friends and family, and putting all of the effort and time that I can into comedy, because if you're going to do it, then don't fuck around. I take it seriously because that's the only way to do it, and that's the only way to get better. And that's just the facts. So the time that I've realized that it's had to take has then led to me making it even more important to get that balance in my life. And you can't stay balanced forever. It's a constant up and down fucking thing. Everybody knows that. That's just life. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're unemployed. Maybe it does. I don't know. You could be unemployed and really busy. Who the fuck knows? I have no idea. But that's just life. And so again, my first show was March 1st. And last night I just did my 51st show of the year. First one was at the Fourth Wall Comedy Club in Hollywood, and number 51 was at the Voco Hotel in Laguna Hills. It was like a hour and a half drive. Had to get off work, and then me and Amanda drove down to Laguna Hills. Traffic sucked. It was fucking, brutal drive, but it was a great show. It was a great show. That hotel was so fucking nice. Such a beautiful hotel, and people were so ready to laugh. It was awesome. It was such a great time. And I think right now, literally right now, I'm thinking back to what I was thinking about leading up to that show on March 1st, because my first open mic in Los Angeles was like, I think December 18th of 24. And I said 24 last year, Adam. You don't have to say fucking 24. It wasn't that long ago. December 18th was my first open mic out here, and it was awesome. And the fourth wall has always been great, and I've got so many great friends from that place, and from there, comedy has just turned into such a thing that comedy has been a constant reminder to me to be so thankful for what my life is. And I'm not going to get emotional or cry. I feel like my voice breaks a little bit there. If you could detect that, it's a constant reminder of, even when stuff's not perfect, it's never going to be perfect. I mean, that's another thing about life. I feel this episode could just be me spitting out a bunch of lessons that most people have already learned. Now that I'm, commentating on myself talking for this one, talking about the talking, if you will. But, this is what the episode is. So, we'll get to some baseball, and all the episodes after this are very baseball centered. And because there's so much I need to talk about. Shohei just did some crazy shit. Did everybody just now realize that he's the best fucking player ever? I've been talking about this. He just had a game in the NLCS where he struck out 10, pitched 6 innings of shutout baseball, hit 3 home runs. Everybody's like, oh my God, he's the absolute best. I'm like, yeah, he's been the absolute best. And yes, it was the best overall performance. He's also had the best performance ever in a regular season game. He had that shit that he did against the Marlins. So I've been knowing this. If you've listened to this podcast for any, amount of time, there's more than one Shohei episode. So, but alas, I'm just happy that more people are becoming aware. That's the positive that you need to take, But yeah, I feel like it's like, oh my God, he's the best ever. It's like, yes, I'm glad we're acknowledging it. If it took until now for you to understand that, you haven't been paying attention, is my point. Another point, I was talking about being thankful. And on that note of being thankful for my life, I've thinking about that, and comedy has reinforced that so much. And at the same time, I couldn't be more thankful for how comedy has been going. And I'm a superstitious person. I got to knock on wood here. Because, I always, my mouth gets me in trouble and shit. I'm like, oh man, this is, and then the opposite happens, and I'm like, fuck. So I'm approach. This is humble. This is humble and honest, and I am in a place of extreme humility right now. And if you want to take a theme from this episode, I hope that's the theme that you take. And again, there's so much baseball shit to talk about. All the episodes after this are going to be normal, and I'm going to promote them and post about them. This one, I'm not posting shit about. So again, if you're listening, especially if you're still listening, I really appreciate it. Because this is one that has to get out before I can get into the next tier of what I have planned for this podcast. But this episode is the foundation of every episode of the upcoming future. So in this episode is a very much an establishing thing. I try to think of a better word besides thing. But it's the establishing mechanism. That's a hell of a word. For the rest of this show, for the foreseeable future. Because again, I'm very lucky, and I could not be more thankful. There's no words possible that can convey the feeling that I have when I think about stand-up comedy and the contrast of where I started from that first open mic in December 18th of last year to my 51st show performing stand-up comedy on October 17th at the Voco Hotel in Laguna Hills. I mean, it was a great place. I'm not trying to, promote that hotel big time. I'm not fucking running press for these guys or anything. I didn't mean to. That's just the name of the place. It was a really nice place. It was a great show, But it's you get what I fucking mean. I'm not doing free ads for the hotel. It was nice though. It was nice. Now I am. God damn it. Now I am doing free press for the fucking hotel. It was a nice hotel. Go stay there. And I know that we're doing more comedy shows there too. So if you're in Southern California, Orange County area, even if you're in San Diego, it's a lot closer than Los Angeles. So keep that in mind. Laugh Bombs is coming back. And Laugh Bombs shows, Josh Pimentel is in charge of that. He runs it. He does a damn great job. I've gotten so many great opportunities and done so many awesome shows because of Josh and Laugh Bombs. So that is very much worth mentioning. The majority of all these Ice House shows I've done, except for one, have been because of him and because of Laugh Bombs. So it's been a great time every time, and I will relentlessly. That's an ad that I will do every day, forever, for free, because he does business well. The shows are awesome. It's always a great fucking time, and that's been such a huge part of my comedy, I hate to say journey. That makes it, I hate that. I don't want to say, oh, my comedy journey. Ooh. I don't like that. But I guess that's what it is. But again, this episode is gratitude, is what this is. And also explaining where the fuck this podcast has been, because I actually try to prioritize sleep now. And, it's not always perfect, obviously. That's another thing, another lesson of life, that another theme of this fucking thing. It's not always perfect. Oh, fucking shocker. Life, it does what it wants, but the thing that does not have to change is what you're fucking thankful for. I know I've said it on this show more than once. There's always something to be thankful for, and that is just the fucking truth. And I say that again from this perspective after everything that's happened so far this year. This sounds like a year wrap up. We're fucking mid-October. There's still another like 2.5 months of this year, and I've been terrified to even try to say the statement, oh, this has been the best year of my life. It really may have been. I mean, again, I'm too superstitious to be saying shit like this, but I've been having those thoughts because, again, there's no reality in the world where I would have expected there was never an expectation I would get to do this many shows. And, they're not all perfect. Some of these are in bars. Some of these are for 3 people. Some of these are at a sold-out Ice House show, which those have been my favorite. Again, that's because of Laugh Bombs. Go to the fucking Laugh Bombs shows. Go to all of them if you can. But especially the ones at the Ice House. The Ice House is the absolute best club I've been in so far. And the crowds are always fantastic. The room is awesome. There's something different that happens when I am on stage at that place. And Amanda's even said that. She's like, I think it's this room. I think something happens in this room. And it's all awesome. It's great. And, but again, the podcast has been slacking because the time, you got to work. Comedy needs a lot of time after that. Everything else has to be as good as it can possibly be, and you still have to get enough sleep to want to be there. And that's been my fucking life. That's been the thing. And with all the other stuff I want to do, and, you have to keep up with the social media shit, and I need to do more for this podcast. There's a couple other projects and things that I want to do that need time and attention, and is in constant act of trying to balance. And again, there's no way for it to be perfect. That's just not a reality. Perfection is, and the real thing, perfection is probably just a lie. Every time you think, oh, everything's perfect, it's technically not. It's literally unattainable. But I guess that's at the same time, that's the fucking point of life, and that's the beauty of it. And if you want to relate that to stand-up comedy, if you want to bring it full circle, even when it's amazing and you're almost telling yourself that you had the perfect set, you did not. There's no such thing as a perfect show. No such thing as a perfect joke. Perfection is impossible. Another theme of this episode, I guess. But I guess that's where I've been. And this show's getting a lot more attention here going forward. There's been a million times that I've said that in the past. Oh, I'm going to do this. This is the plan. I'm tired of fucking around. Well, fucking around is no longer an option. That is the reality. It's up to me to put myself in the best possible position to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. Because even though 51 shows is fucking awesome, I'm beyond thankful that there's going to be more. That's how I felt at 40 shows. My takeaway, I even wrote a little thing about it. I'll let you guys know when I post it. But I wrote a little thing about being 40 shows deep. And the first thing that I wrote in that was, remember to be thankful that it will eventually be 50. And there's no other option. That's the way that I have to think and will always think. Because it's a privilege, and I'm a very lucky person to be able to be doing this and enjoying it as much as I am. The feelings of joy, and I've never had a thing where I truly believe and feel like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. There's all, like, I fucking love baseball. I love a lot of things. There's been a lot of things that I've done very well. I'm not trying to flex. If that sounded braggy, not at all my intention, but you know what I mean. Everybody has things. It's like, I'm pretty good at bags. And yeah, I call it bags. I don't call it cornhole. But if you call it cornhole, good for you. I don't. It's the same thing. It's a long-lasted Midwestern debate of what you call it. It's a fun-ass game is what it is. I'm pretty good at cornhole. There you go. I said it. I please both people. Both crowds. So there you go. Everybody's happy now. But that's something that I love doing. I'd like to think I'm pretty good at it. I got a feel for throwing that bean bag, I love playing bags. But, was I put on earth to play baseball? There was a time where I really wanted to believe that was the reason. Same with screenwriting. And I'm not even ruling out screenwriting, but I need to improve in screenwriting way more before I can get any kind of recognition that's worth it. I realized a while ago that jumps need to be made. As much as I wanted to be Aaron Sorkin, I can only be me, and me is right now, and turns out I'm just a fucking stand-up comedian. That's what's happening. And there's truly no other thing for me to do. There's other things, it'll never just be stand-up comedy. That's impossible. But if you want to talk about having the feeling, the very distinct and extremely overwhelming sense that is the thing. That's the thing. And that is the genesis of this episode for the 18th time. Lots of themes in this one. Jesus Christ. I'm wrapping this up soon. All right, this is long enough. Again, if you're listening this far, thank you so much, because this is this episode is a big fucking deal for me, and I'm always gonna remember this one. So 96 is a big fucking deal, and again, this episode is the foundation for every single episode after this in the foreseeable future. It took 35 days from the last episode to this one. This thing's going to go up on Sunday, October 19th. I'm recording it Saturday, October 18th. And this is the foundation. And until I have another sit down talk kind of episode like this, every episode you see after episode 96, this is the foundation of why it exists, what I'm doing with my fucking life, and how incredibly thankful I am for these opportunities I've gotten. And I'm now talking from a place of understanding the importance of remembering to be thankful no matter what. And if the work ethic follows, which again, it doesn't always, as I've said it a million times, perfection is impossible. But something clicked today. I'm not even going to try to describe it as I'm wrapping this episode up. Something clicked today that I will not even be able to describe with words. I might try to write about it. That has led me here. And I could not be more thankful for my life. I've got a picture on my desk from my grandma's house when I was very young. And that pause, this was not planned at all, but this is how we're gonna end the episode. I've got a picture on my desk from my grandma's house when I was very young, like early elementary school. I look damn near the same. My head is the same size. I promise you. I got glasses now. This is pre-glasses Adam. If you've known me a long time, I had glasses when I was, in elementary school, and I thought it was hurting me with the ladies, so I got contacts for a long time. And, within the last couple of years, I'm like, yeah, wear those glasses. Those contacts suck. That's not important. But this picture, it's me and my grandma in her house. I'm holding, her and I are holding a Luke Skywalker action figure. This looks like either, a birthday or Christmas situation. It's definitely Christmas. I see all the bags in the background, all the big red bags by the china cabinet in the living room. And that Adam in that fucking picture, I would give anything to send that guy a message saying, this is what's going to happen. And you're going to be so fucking happy. Your little 6-7-year-old brain has no fucking concept. You like Star Wars. That's all you want. You love your grandma and you love Star Wars and you're happy as fuck. That's what this picture is. And again, I didn't plan to talk about this, but as I took that pause a second ago, I looked right at that picture. And so I had to share that. Thank you very much for listening to this one. Every episode after this will be normal. But again, this is the foundation. And this is possibly the greatest episode I've ever fucking recorded. If you ask me personally, again, I'm not promoting this one at all. But this one could be the best. Hopefully they keep getting better. I'm going to do hundreds of these unless something stops me. Again, I've always said this project will never end. This show will never die, no matter the breaks, hiatuses, whatever word you want to use for a fucking break, it will never die. If I'm alive, this show is alive. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for listening to the Bullpen Podcast.